The question has always come up, which is better, the 1911 or the Luger? Well, let's break it down for you and actually get into these and see which one should be on your list of a sidearm, shall we? Now, before we begin, let's go ahead and talk about these guns, starting off with, of course, the Luger. Yes, the Luger, that handgun that is so iconic from not only World War I, but also World War II, and even video games, movies, everything. And I can understand why. The Luger just has that profile of a beautiful gun. And, of course, is used in Star Wars even. So, yeah, there's that. But also because the gun is so comfortable. It is designed perfectly. It is just so comfortable in the hand. The way the grip is designed, it just conforms. It feels good. It has that nice little sling mount. It has that mount right there for a carbine stock. So you can actually have a Luger carbine. And the safety is right there within your thumb. The action is smooth. It really is. It's smooth. And the magazine release right there, all the controls, everything is within the hand, and the actual breaking point, it's right there. Like the reset, it's not even. It's mechanically godly. Like I said before, and I've used this clip so many times, but it is so true!
No, I'm not defending German technical superiority, I'm stating the fucking obvious!
The Luger, like I said, it is a gun that just demands respect. And demands your admiration. And while yes, it does have fixed sights, it still works. It's still great, and even in airsoft, it's still amazing. But what about its American counterpart? From the ammo box of Antioch, the Saint 1911, from John Moses Browning, may he rest in peace. The 1911 is a handgun that needs no introduction, needs no, well, anything outside of my 2 world wars and conflicts afterwards. It was the official handgun of the Marine Raiders until they finally upgraded, sadly. This handgun is one that is made worldwide, still in use today, still the choice of many shooters. It is American firearms perfection, and anyone who dares says otherwise has not been baptized in the holiness of 1911s and the holiness of Saint Browning. And while yes, his perfection, of course, was the Browning High Power, we are talking about the 1911 that got him to be where he is today. And if you want to know the actual little bit of intricacies of the 1911 and everything else in between, Forgotten Weapons has a playlist on everything St. Moses Browning. So, yeah, let's actually talk about it. So the 1911 is, once again, a simple blowback handgun. It has a 45 ACP cartridge that actually fires. It is very nice, very beautiful. This is the KJW TAC 1911, the TAC Master, the STI, everything about it. Just, oh. Ah! God, I love this gun. And it is just good. It feels good in the hand. It's great. It just, ah. And the reset, yes, it's all the way front, but this has a race trigger to where you can actually reset the trigger. It's just great. Yes, the trigger's a little squishy, but then again, it's just beautiful. It's great. It's perfect. It has adjustable front and rear iron sights, white dots on there. It is the more modern version of the 1911, but still came a long way from that original 1911. That, well, let's face it, the sights weren't all that great, but the more modern ones, it's just beautiful. But the question is, which one is better? Which one has better, well, grip? Which one has better shooting? Which one has better accuracy? Which one is actually better all around? So, in this case, we're just going to take these two guns, for airsoft purposes, mind you, and we're going to actually see them as a whole, and we're going to put them head-to-head. And we're going to do that by, of course, just shooting the hell out of them and seeing which one does better. And I may be biased because I love both 1911s and, of course, German weapons, so this might be a hard one to talk about. But, load these up, and, yeah, see what they do, shall we? Alright, so I have the Luger. Now, I am going to be shooting at a BB catcher here. This is not really much more of a groupings thing. It's more of a, you know, can I comfortably shoot this gun and still have a tight grouping, I guess you could say. But either way, though. So, loading the magazine in. It is a little wonky, to say the least. There it goes. That is definitely satisfying to actually load the gun. Either way though, flipping it to fire, which is not that terribly difficult. Let's go ahead and shoot it with a standard shooter's grip and see what she does. Virtually no recoil, ironically enough. Like, no impulse. That trigger is so... The brake line on the trigger is so close that you can just rapidly get off shots, which I might show you guys, actually. That's something I want to do. Again, it's just so close. It is really... And there's virtually no recoil. And while a lot of you might think because of the toggle locking, the sight picture might be... actually might mess up on sight picture, it doesn't really. I do not lose sight picture. Again, the gun is just so comfortable to shoot that it's not uncomfortable to shoot. And the sight picture, like I said, does not lose. You don't lose the sight picture. Yeah, it might seem bad. It might seem you might lose it because of this big chunk of metal right here coming up because of it being a toggle lock, but no, it doesn't. It goes up, then comes back down quickly enough that you don't lose sight picture, which, once again, I love. And last round. And again, it's just so comfortable to do, like... love it. Now let's get the 1911 and give that a try, shall we? 1911, double stack magazine. Now, the thing about the STI 1911 is that when you put the mag in, it automatically drops the slide. I kind of like that, and at the same time, I kind of don't like it because you don't get that satisfying... Yeah, but either way, though. So, let's go ahead, get eyes on target, and see what the impulse is on it, as well as, well, more or less me talking, of course, while I'm shooting this thing. So, 1911, and let's go ahead and fire it. Again, you have this slide coming back, and while, yes, you will be basically... Like, this is... I'll explain, but more or less you do get an impulse on it, and it does, me personally, cause me to jerk a bit. Not too much, but just enough. Just, you know, if you're not used to it, even with a real steel 1911, it will cause you to jerk. Only when you're used to the impulse of the recoil will you not jerk. But even with me being shot, who have shot a lot of 1911s and a lot of guns in general, me living in the South, I still have that impulse to jerk a bit. Even at age 26, I still jerk a bit. Not too badly to where I'm like, yeah. More of just a, well, you can see it. So let me just go ahead and, well, do that once again. Again. And not, yeah, again, it's just... And we are empty. Now, something I actually did notice a bit is that even when you're like this, your eyes are completely concentrated on just those three dots. And even with the slide back, it still looks like you're still in battery until you pull that trigger and you realize, oh, you're not in battery, you're actually out of battery. Which, even then, it's still a comfortable grip. It really is. Like, it's one of those things of, I guess it kind of depends on the person and their personal preference, but again, recoil impulse, everything of that nature, this is a good gun, it really is. But at the same time, it's like, you know, which one is kind of better? If I had to really give, like, in terms of recoil impulse as well as grip, the Luger wins by far, because the Luger is a very comfortable gun to hold on to, as well as having minimal recoil. And even giving you that ability to know that you're empty is a great one, because like I said, if you're just solely concentrated on those three dots, which you probably are, you'll realize, oh, you're empty until you pull that trigger and you realize, oh, I'm actually empty. Unlike the Luger, where the toggle lock goes directly in front of your eyesight and it tells you, look, you're empty. I guess it's like a nitpick at this point in time, but the Luger does have great impulse and recoil. But let's get back over here and actually talk about it, shall we? When it comes down to it, the argument will still go on well into the future. And yes, people will still argue which one's better, be it in real steel or airsoft, the Luger or the 1911. And in my opinion, both guns are, well, respectably good in their own right. But if I had to choose on a given day, which one do I rather have? The rugged, hard-kicking ability of a 1911, or the comfort, elegance, German engineering of the Luger? I'd have to say I love both. But each one has their own pros and cons. The 1911 is a hard-kicking gun, and if you're someone who jerks easy, then you are going to miss your shots, even if the person is close in proximity. So yes, the 1911 might not be for you. If you're someone who likes comfortability and actually a soft shooting gun, or at least something that is actually really good, the Luger might be for you, even if the magazines, are a little bit expensive, even if the gun itself's around the 115 mark. But the Luger is a good choice for a sidearm, even if you're rocking like an AK or an AR-15 style weapon. The Luger is a good choice and should get a lot more love. Again, there are probably a lot more people who could do this better than me, but in my personal opinion, both are good in their own right, and I give you this argument, or at least this decision, or at least my opinion on it. The 1911 is meant to be rugged, hard-hitting, and just meant to do the job it's meant to do. So this would be good for outdoor play and otherwise. And even CQB if you had to, since this particular model takes both green gas and CO2. The Luger is a soft shooting gun. It is soft in the impulse recoil, it is soft kicking, it is meant to just be good for someone who needs a gun that they can hold on to and know that they won't miss their shots. It is definitely one that is worth for those who have that speedy trigger, since of course that nice little, that break is literally right there, a centimeter away from the actual reset. The argument could go on for days, but in my personal opinion, I love both. I really do. So, yeah. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think of either platform and what you think does better for what job. And I'm not talking about, oh, the 1911 is better for the Luger because of XYZ. No, I want to hear your opinions as to which platform actually performs better in what environment. And I don't mean just in airsoft, I also mean in the real steel world as well. Both designs are over 100 years old, and both designs are still, even in the present day of 2020, or wherever you're watching this, or whenever you're watching this video, both guns probably have their own uses in certain environments, and I'd love to hear your opinions on it. So, thank you all for watching. As always, I've been AirsoftAL, the Commands Airsofter, who talks about 100-year-old designs so you can come to your own opinion on them. And would you kindly consider liking, subscribing, disliking, all that good, happy YouTube jazz? And if you want to help out the channel, consider donating to our PayPal down below. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I will see all you lovely people in the next video. Till next time, later!